what is this open and receptiveness? It's allowing things to move through you. It's saying yes. It's being in an open state. But when you have triggers, it is impossible to be in it. It's impossible to at least stay in an open state, because if you want to block certain emotions, you can't block fear and not block happiness. You have to block it all. A block is a block is a block is a block, okay? So if you have a certain amount of emotional bandwidth and there's something right here that's blocking you from getting to the rest, your happiness only goes to here. Your joy only goes to here. Your bliss only goes to here. Your anger goes to here. Your whatever, everything goes to right here. But you have everything that's over there as well that you have access to. So that resistance is not only blocking fear, it's blocking everything else. And that trigger is your key. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Salandria and I am your host today. The name of the channel, of course, as you can see, is called The Sacred Portal. Today, what I wanted to talk about was the stored trauma in our bodies, the triggers that those activate, and what we're missing out on when we don't begin to reclaim ourselves from the trauma and the trigger. So in my previous video, I just recorded a video about, as women, the importance of connecting to our bodies and some of the practices that I use to help me get into my body and that I've felt growth with thus far in a very quick amount of time. And something that came up for me also was moving through my triggers was also a huge part of me reconnecting to the body. Why is reconnection to the body important? Why do I keep talking about this? Why do I want to build a platform on this? It's important because as we're trying to step into our feminine energy and then our divine feminine energy, it's through the body. It's through us being okay. It's through us, being okay and being able to handle all of the sensations that comes through our vessels, to be able to handle all of the emotions that comes through our body. I can do a whole nother video on how, as women, a lot of the time our excuses for our blowing up, for our triggers, for our emotional reactions is, well, I'm a woman and, I'm emotional. And no, just because you're a woman does not mean that you are emotional. You experience emotions. But to me, the epitome of a woman is the one who knows how to govern those emotions. She doesn't let those emotions come in and crash her like waves just tossing over her ship. No, she really knows how to keep her vessel steady as all of these emotions crash through her. She's emotionally intelligent. She's emotionally embodied. She's emotionally aware. She's the captain of that thing. So a lot of times I hear women talk about how, well, I'm just emotional. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm passionate because I'm emotional. And there's nothing wrong with passion, but the emotional part to me is no longer a valid argument, because yes, women are emotional, which means that we should be completely having control over the emotional scope and the emotional sphere. That's the beauty of being a woman. You can call up emotion when you want to, and you know how to counteract an emotion whenever you want to. That is like the magic of a woman, okay? That is the magic of a woman. So when it comes to these triggers, basically, really quick in a nutshell, right? What I believe is that, especially as a woman, if you want to get into the magic of who you are, if you want to get into truly experiencing life on a, if you want to truly experience life just from a blissful state, blissful meaning like feeling lots of things, feeling lots of joy, you know what I'm saying? If you want to experience life on that path, then you should already be aware that you need to be open and receptive. If you're into manifestation, you're always told, are you open? Are you receptive? Abraham Hicks, you just have to be open, you just have to be receptive. These people keep saying these things, right? what is this open and receptiveness? It's allowing things to move through you. It's saying yes. It's being in an open state. But when you have triggers, it is impossible to be in it. It's impossible to at least stay in an open state, because if you want to block certain emotions, you can't block fear and not block happiness. You have to block it all. A block is a block is a block is a block, okay? So if you have a certain amount of emotional bandwidth and there's something right here that's blocking you from getting to the rest, your happiness only goes to here. Your joy only goes to here. Your bliss only goes to here. Your anger goes to here. Your whatever, everything goes to right here. But you have everything that's over there as well that you have access to. So that resistance is not only blocking fear, it's blocking everything else. And that trigger is your key. That trigger is the key to you finding, the key to you discovering, the key to you unraveling, and the key to you finally moving on. Something that really helped me, I think it was a year or two ago, I was reading a book. I'm so sorry, I can't remember the name of the book. I can't even remember how the quote goes very well, but it just stuck with me forever. I think it had something to do with Eckhart Tolle. I'm pretty sure it was something Eckhart Tolle based. But, or maybe it wasn't. I think I just heard that Eckhart Tolle said that once before. Don't know. But it was basically talking about when we're speaking of emotions and moving beyond certain emotions and things of that nature, just think of it as a river. Think of it as a stream that's coming by, and say a stick gets lodged in that stream, and it's like stuck somewhere. That is your blockage. You can just allow that stick, or let's say the stick comes up and it's an experience that you didn't enjoy, an experience that you didn't like, an experience, an injustice, something that caused a lot of hurt, trauma, and pain. That's the stick that's in the water. You can either hold on to that stick and not let that thing move, or you can just let it go. What do I mean when I say just let it go and let the stream, let the river, let the momentum of the river take care of the stick? You don't have to stop and try to get in the middle of the stream and hope that you don't fall and grab the stick. And no. That's you holding on to the issue. That's you holding on to the stick. The momentum of the river will carry it away, meaning emotions just move through. They just move through. The ones that you are experiencing over and over, especially the ones that you don't want to experience, are the ones that you're holding on to. Meaning when they come, you hold them. You don't let them go, okay? So when anger comes up, there's probably been an instance in your past where either you weren't allowed to express anger, or that triggered you to be angry when you come across certain experiences. And you have to learn how to let things move through you. That's what I'm trying to say. Emotion is energy in motion. So basically think of it as a stream, think of it as a creek. It's gonna move through. It's not gonna stay forever. The only time it stays forever is if you let it stay forever. Okay? So we really have to work on, as women, getting out of these triggered states. And especially on social media nowadays, there's a lot of people who want you to cater to their triggers. There's a lot of conversation around, they're not saying it, but that's what they're saying. Like, well, you have to speak to me this sort of type of way because emotionally that hurts me, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, that is your trigger. This is the perfect time for you to move some energy that you've been probably holding on to since you were 6. Instead of doing that, I now have to appease your 6-year-old self. That's how I see it. And don't get me wrong, I fall into these issues as well. And then I have to, on the back end, because I may be like, talk to me nice or whatever. I've done it not too long ago, you know what I'm saying? But then on the back end, I have to sit down and realize, like, no, that's really not their responsibility. It's yours. And it's really pointing out this, and it's how you've been holding on to this. And so I think it's time for us to let this go. You know what I'm saying? So where I'm going with this is, as women, we've really got to learn, as women, as people, as humans, whatever, we really have to learn how to stop babying our triggers. I call it like, it's like walking around like the wounded queen. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody who sees you possibly and like loves you, and they're like, oh, that's my girl so and so, and they come to give you a hug. You got on clothes, you know what I'm saying? You look nice, everything's looking good. I can't tell that you're bruised and battered and all cut up underneath those clothes. I come to embrace you in a huge hug, and you blow up on me like I'm the one who beat and stabbed you up. I didn't do it. You've been beaten, stabbed up, and instead of dealing with that, you've been putting nice clothes over those wounds. I come and I'm just being me, and I brushed up against you, had no idea that was going on, and it's my fault. Nurse the wound. I can get passionate about these things because I feel like I experienced that as well, where, people just, I love to just keep it real. I like to tell the truth, and I like to have open conversations. I'm not the type of person who, like, you can say a lot of things to me and it's not necessarily going to trigger me, because I understand that that's your perspective and then I have my own. So your perspective doesn't mean anything about my perspective. It's about you and it's about me. That's how I see and think about a lot of things, but a lot of people don't think that way. And so my own opinion can like totally set somebody into attack mode on me. And it's like, dude, I'm just having a conversation. And if you don't agree, you don't have to, but you also don't have to attack me because you don't agree with me. I'm pretty sure I think that what you think is stupid, and I like, it is what it is. Like, I still respect you as a person, you know? So I noticed that a lot with us. And on the back end of that, don't get me wrong, these experiences that we have gone through that allow us to feel this, these triggers, this anger, these emotions, all of this stuff, for a long time, they've probably been invalidated. And we're really just looking for people to say, you know what, your anger matters. You know what, your sadness matters. You know what, your insecurity really does matter. But do that. You have the power now to do that for yourself and just move on past the situation. You know what I'm saying? Don't look for the world, especially as a woman, as an empowered woman, and stepping into the divine. You don't have to be a damsel in distress. You're not waiting for somebody to come and save your life, for somebody to come and see you. The true work, the true spirituality, the true self-development is you seeing you. So you can go ahead and validate any emotion, any harm, any wound, any pain that you want. And then you can decide to let the energy just move up and out of you. Let that anger, put yourself in a situation where you feel anger, put yourself in a room, feel the anger, and let it move up and out. When you let it out, and it's not going to go away until you feel it all the way through. Feel it until it fizzles out. It literally fizzles out in minutes. It fizzles out in minutes. It's not like a lifelong journey. You may have to do it a few times, but every time the volume of that anger or the potency of that anger is less and less and less and less. And the result of that, you ask, the reward of that, you ask, your entity, your being, your vessel, your energy is now open, meaning things can come to you, emotions can come to you, people can embrace you because you're not like this. You know what I'm saying? Hoping somebody doesn't hurt your cup right here. You're open now. So you're saying yes, and then the world is like, oh, hey, she's saying yes to me. They say yes back to you. But you cannot do that in a triggered state. If you have a million little landmines all around you, how does anything and anyone approach you? And then we wonder why we're not getting the treatment that we think that we deserve. You're a walking landmine. I'm not walking over there on them lands, child. I'm not gonna blow up just to try and get to the center. Why? When there's a trillion other people in the world, why would I come and step on your landmine? For what? Especially if I'm not the one who even did it. Or if I'm doing something, I'm being who I perceive myself to be, and that triggers you, you should probably stay away from me, yes or yes. Yes or yes. But that's my own personal triggers. That's my own personal triggers. But I have been doing a lot of work to really let the shit move out. Let it out, let it out, let it out. I'm a 30-year-old woman now. Like, how long can I hold on to these same stories? How long can I hold on to these same injustices? Like, at some point, and I'm not saying let it go and just, oh, fuck it, it happened in the past. No, just let it consume you for a day. And I promise you, it then leaves, like it goes away because you let it out. But if you hold it in there and then become a walking damn landmine, a walking trigger point, and you're gonna keep experiencing these things because it wants to leave you. It don't want to be in there with you. It's like, dang, why you didn't let me go when you was 12? It don't want to be with you, okay? So let it go. That's what the trigger is for. So begin to learn to use your triggers as a mode, as a key to liberating yourself, to liberating the truth of who you are. How do you do that? It's going to take time, don't get me wrong. In a moment, you might get triggered and you might have a triggered response. But I just want you to do some self-reflection on the back of that. Where did this come from? How was I feeling? Feel how you felt that way before. Okay, she said it like that, and it wasn't that she was disrespecting you. He was disrespecting you. You were so-and-so. It stems from somewhere. It could either stem from a belief that, everywhere I go, nobody respects me, or whatever your story is. Just look at the damn story. Just look at it, okay? It's not going to eat you. It's not going to burn you. It's not going to harm you. You can look at it, okay? You have that level of capacity. You have that level of authority, okay? You're the one who's running the show here. So that was my little raving ranting about triggers and allowing our emotions to move up and up out of us so that new things that we're looking to experience that actually match and align the person that we know we are now, that we feel like we're not getting. It's like, I know that I'm this person, but I'm not getting it. And it's because you're not moving the old shit out. Let it up. Let it out. Cry it out. Scream it out. Punch it on the pillow out. I don't know. Get it up out your body, so that the truth can finally inhabit those spaces, and set that intention. When you're releasing, set the intention to release this thing and allow the truth of my true love being to fill these spaces. I promise you, it doesn't take long. It takes a couple of practices and things are going to continuously come up. It's a lifetime of that. But once you know, oh shit, this is a trigger, this is how I handle my triggers, once you find your rhythm and your pattern, you can live your life. You can live in your feminine. You're okay with your emotions, okay? So I'm passionate about this. I'm so passionate about this because it's changing my life on like a molecular, cellular, invisible, etherical level. It matters, it matters, it matters. So does your hurt, so does your pain, but it matters to you. Not to me, not to your mom, not to your dad, to you. Accept that it matters to you. Let yourself feel it, and then see how you've grown and allow the truth of who you actually are to come through. That's all I have for you. I hope that this was helpful. If you have any comments, if you agree, disagree, whatever, go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm really trying to grow this channel. And what else? I don't know if I said that already. Like the video. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here.